the key word is community. And that's for any profession that you choose, but especially aviation, you need to find your community.
Having somebody that will help guide you through any steps of the aviation world is so important.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, welcome back to another interview show at Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka. I'm so glad you are here. Today, I am interviewing the outreach chairs of Women in Aviation International, the Wheels Down South chapter here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we talk all things women in aviation and getting girls involved in flying and the outreach that happens with these great people that sacrifice so much. And so if you have a kid who is interested in flying and wants to learn about aviation, whether it's being a pilot or a maintainer or learning about dispatch or airplane management or any of that, this is a great episode. It's a great conversation. So sit back and relax. Let's get ready for Pushback. Hey, pilot, did you just get a new conditional job offer? Are you getting out of the military and going to move your family across the country? Are you going to move in base somewhere, or are you going to go out to find that second home that you've been looking for? Well, I want you to stop right now, pick up the phone, and call Marty and the team at Trident Home Loans. It's an organization that's run by pilots. They understand pilot pay. They understand contracts. They understand military. They have the best VA loans in the United States. Marty and his team have been doing mortgages for years. They've been doing my mortgages for years. I trust him and his team more than any other organization. I challenge you to get a better deal anywhere else. Go ahead, reach out, get a mortgage quote, and then call Marty and his team. They will walk you through the process and show you how competitive their rates are. So go right now, tridenthomeloans.com, and check them out. All right, here we are, Isabella Velarde and Officer Precious Banks. It's fantastic to have you ladies. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
It's great. So you guys are Women in Aviation International, the Wheels Down South chapter, right?
Correct.
All right. Where is that located?
So we're in Atlanta. We're in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. Do you guys... Hotlanta. Are you guys in like Peachtree City and everybody drives golf carts to the airport?
No, we have monthly meetings, typically once a month, and they're all over. I mean, they can be at the Aviation Institute of Maintenance. They can be at one of the local airports. We normally meet sometimes at the Sonesta Hotel near Hateville. So we try to move around so that people that are coming from different parts around Georgia, they can meet somewhere close by.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys on September 21st because you are having a big day. And I'm going to bring my little Kate, who does the intro for the podcast. And it's going to be super fun. She's 10. Tell everybody about the festivities that we're going to be having.
Well, first, I want to say that's special for Kate that she's 10 because this is our 10th year anniversary for Girls in Aviation Day. So that's really, really awesome. 10 is a really great number. So we're so happy that Kate is lucky. She's going to be our lucky charm for the day. Yeah. But this event, Girls in Aviation Day, September 21st, Saturday, at Peachtree DeKalb Airport, is going to be awesome. What for girls from first grade all the way to 12th grade, we're expecting how many, Isabella? Do you know the number right now?
260, I believe, is the last number, including chaperones and stuff like that. So it's going to be a wild day. I'm so excited.
Yes. So many different companies, different booths, different games and activities for the girls all day long.
Talk to me about the layout and how you guys structure the day.
So one thing I do want to mention that Precious mentioned before is this is for not only girls. So we would love for girls to attend and the younger generation, but it's really for everybody. If you have a little brother, little sister, anybody, we want them to join. We want them to show and to learn all about the aviation industry. So the way that we do it, you'll have all this information. You can go on our website and register. We have 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., but we have shifts that will be coming through. So it's, if I remember correctly, 9 to 11, 11 to 1, 1 to 3. And so we tried to split it by age gaps just so we can kind of tailor the activities per each age group. But if you have siblings or stuff like that, then, you just contact us and we help you fit them wherever the whole family can get in. But yeah, so pretty much the day starts off with, we have a huge PDK in the PDK glow building. You walk in, you have a whole bunch of tables. They'll do kind of like a round robin of all the different types of activities that we have. Each company that's attending will be hosting a different type of activity. So it could be from, oh my goodness, I don't even know what the official activities are, but in the past we've done like face painting, some marshalling where the girls and the kids get to practice marshalling airplanes in. We even had somebody dressed up as an airplane, then they were marshalling them in. We've done a simulator type activity. So they get to kind of do a huge loop around the building, see all these tables. And then this one we're really excited about, we will be having a static display. Well, they're going to be able to go outside to the ramp area, and we're still scrounging up some pilots. So I'm working on
Come on out and fly for us, Nick. There you go.
Come bring the plane.
You.
Yep. But kids will be able to go out and
down there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. We can get approved, right?
I'll make a couple calls. I know some people.
Yeah,
I know you have the connections.
But that'll be the best part. The kids definitely love to go see the airplanes, and they get to get up close and personal with them. Some kids have never seen an airplane up close and personal, which is such an incredible opportunity for them to do so, depending on the type of airplane and the pilots, if they are there with the plane or not. They can get in, they can jump in, they can touch the controls, and with obviously guidance with the pilots and or who's caring for the airplane. And so this is some incredible experiences for these kids that have never seen it before.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. And so you two are both in different phases of your aviation career. Precious, will you tell the pilot at home what your little background is?
Yep. Well, I've been a flight attendant now. This is actually my 10th year. I just celebrated my 10th year as a flight attendant. I started in general aviation, pursuing my private pilot certificate. Oh my God, maybe 5 years ago. It is a long, slow journey, uphill battle because there's so many obstacles. But I started about 5 years ago when I met, the first Black female pilot that I had ever seen on one of my flights. I had never even thought that was a career path for me. I just got on the plane. I did my little drink service. I went and sat down, and I did that over and over until I met this woman that works for FedEx. And she told me all about her job. And she was like, "You can do this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've never seen me up there before. You're the first person I've seen in 5 years. What are you talking about? I can do this." She introduced me to all of these organizations, told me about women in aviation, got involved with them, started pursuing that certificate. I earned that private pilot certificate. It took me about a year. And then I had a baby that went on pause for 3 years. And so I just started back again a few months ago and working on that instrument rating. So that's where I am now.
Congratulations. Were you pregnant walking the aisles as a flight attendant?
I was. Yep. I definitely was.
Do you know that less than 2% of pilots are Black women?
I do know that. Yep.
We call them unicorns. Whenever I meet a girl that is African American, that's a pilot. Like, it's so exciting. It's like, oh my gosh.
It's a big deal. It really is. I mean, every time I see it, I want to quit all the time, every day. So I regret the fact that I ever told anybody I was training to be a pilot, because they're always asking me, "How's it going? Where are you at?" And I'm like, I want to quit every single day. Every single day, I want to just not do this anymore, because it's literally one of the hardest things that I ever started. I mean, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm in my 30s. I'm like, this. I don't want to know another federal aviation regulation ever again.
Well, when you're in majors, you can forget all that. So you don't have to worry about it. It's like this big hill, and then you're on the other side. And you're on reserve.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Isabella, tell me about your journey, because you are currently a professional pilot.
I am. Yes, I am. I'm currently a first officer with Endeavor. I've been there for almost 2 years. In November, it'll be 2 years. I'm super excited. I'll be upgrading hopefully at the end of the year, which is crazy to think about. But I went to Auburn University, and I got all of my training through Auburn. And I'm so thankful for that school. They are the reason that I am where I am today. And they trained me so well to become the perfect professional pilot, where even back then, they were super strict on checklists and, flows and stuff like that. And I never really understood why. I was like, okay, fine, I'll memorize all this stuff. Okay, fine, I'll do the pushback checklist. But now at the airlines, I realize that every call out, every checklist, everything is so important to do that now I don't even have to think about it. It just comes out. And it's a really, really incredible experience. I've loved every moment of it.
Yeah. Well, War Eagle, let's go.
War Eagle.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's being in the Atlanta area. I am not too far from Auburn and Toomer's Corner and all of the great things.
Yeah.
And I have met so many young Auburn pilots, and it's so fun to see, because the journey, the struggle is real, but the journey is fun. And you're right, man. Drilling in those pushback checklists, man, knowing your flows, that it's miserable to learn. Like, you figure out, why am I learning this? And when I'm just doing training, but then all of a sudden you get hired by your regional, and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, no.
All right. So Isabella and Precious, talk to me about the chapter, the Wheels Down South chapter, and what the goal of the organization is.
You want to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, for my piece, I would say it depends on how you look at the chapter, because we have people in the chapter from all different walks of life. Everyone is not involved in aviation, surprisingly. I mean, there are some administrators, there are people that are doctors, there can be lawyers, it can be anybody. They're not necessarily have a job in aviation. So I would say the goal of the chapter as a whole, to put it simply, is to introduce people to the world of aviation and space, right? Because typical person thinks that the only job in aviation is a pilot or a flight attendant. And our goal is to let people know there are so many avenues in aviation. You can be a dispatcher, ATC, you can be an agricultural pilot, you can be an engineer, you can be marketing. I mean, there are so many things, so many different avenues in aviation. And that's what we want to do as a chapter, is to show that you can do so many different things. And this is not just, even though it is a male-dominated industry for pilots and certain career paths in aviation, we want to introduce the person that may not know a lot about aviation and the different things that they can do. So,
yeah, Isabella, why did you decide to get involved? Because you've got a cush little regional job that is paying good money, and way better money than it was 5 years ago. And all you got to do is hang out at Endeavor, and eventually you're going to be wearing a triangle shaped hat. So why are you even doing this?
So actually, I've been part of Women in Aviation as an organization for a long time. Oh gosh, since 2018, when I started college, I joined the Auburn chapter of the Women in Aviation group. And I quickly found that was my place. I loved it. I loved it so much. And the events and the ability to inspire the next generation of future aviators, and not just pilots, but maintenance, everybody. And so at Auburn, I actually became the, outreach chair for the chapter, then vice president, and then president when I ended. And so then when I left Auburn, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I said, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I actually graduated Auburn a year early, just from studying a lot, actually. And so I came back to Atlanta and I said, I need to find a chapter here in Atlanta. I had heard of it. I didn't really have any connections. So I just Googled it. I full on just said Women in Aviation Atlanta. I found the chapter and I just showed up to the first meeting, which funny enough was an officer election meeting, if I'm not mistaken. I was so confused and I was like, oh, okay, well, we're in this now. And I fell in love with people. The people are fantastic. What a special group of girls and women that are so passionate about it. And so here I am, now one of the outreach chairs. And so I love it.
Did Endeavor ask you about women in aviation in your interview?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember because I was part of the STEP program for Endeavor. Okay. So my interview was very different than all the interviews now. And I did it previous, like right during COVID time. So I've been in the STEP program for a while. So I genuinely don't remember my interview too much.
Right. I block out all my nightmares too. Don't worry. Timothy P. Pope is a certified financial planner dedicated to guiding professional pilots through smart financial planning. Whether it's saving for retirement, investment management, a seamless military transition, or strategic tax planning, Tim is your trusted financial partner. Also, you can join Tim as he leads engaging discussions on personal finance and strategies for professional pilots on the brand new Pilot Money podcast. Timothy P. Pope, helping professional pilots make the most out of life. All right, so Precious, how about you? Like you've got a baby, you've got two babies. You've got twins or just two kids?
Two kids.
God bless you. So you got two kids. There's a ring on your finger, so there's another human involved.
Yeah.
And you have a full-time job, and you're trying to get another full-time job as a professional pilot.
Yeah.
But then you've got this. Why even spend your time?
So why do I even spend my time? Because I know there is just so much more for me to do. On the weekends, I volunteer with ACE Academy out of Fulton County Airport. Yeah. And I teach kids from 9 to 11. We just do ground school for aviation. I know there's much more for my life. I'm more than a mom. I'm more than a wife. I know there's just a lot more in me that I have to get out. And as much as I try to get away from aviation sometimes, I just keep coming back. I'm like somebody's fishing me in and reeling me in to this. That's where I feel the most freedom. When I'm flying my little Piper, nothing can touch me. I mean, it's not scary. I'm not afraid. I'm confident. I'm at the controls. I know what I'm doing. And it's such a great feeling to know that when you study something so much and you know it like the back of your hand and you're able to execute. And when you have to take that check ride and, most people are so nervous and scared. I'm like, let me show you what I can do. Like, let me show you what I have been learning and working so hard for, because for me, being a flight attendant, that isn't the top. But I have to break through that ceiling to show my daughter that anything is possible. She can only do what she can see. And I wanted to show her, not just from everyone else on TV, celebrities, that mommy is doing something that's difficult. Then I can do something difficult too. She doesn't have to see it from someone else. She can learn those core values and goals, and she can get it right from home, right from mommy. So that's what keeps pushing me through.
I want to like spike a football now or something. Like I'm ready to go. I want to go back.
I'm ready.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I reached out to you guys specifically to this chapter, not just because I live locally, but because I have spoken to a bunch of organizations, and I've spoken to a bunch of professionals and leaders in the industry. But the person and the people that I haven't spoken to are the people on the ground, on the grassroots, like building it from the bottom up. And one of the, Women in Aviation International really is international, and is a really big organization, and it's a really influential organization. Mm-hmm. But the heartbeat are all of these local chapters that are really well run. Talk to me about it, what it looks like on the grassroots level, and then working with this much larger organization? How is that? How do you guys do that? And why is it important for this organization?
I can answer that one. It's Women in Aviation International is such an incredible organization because, like you said, it's worldwide. It is everywhere you can think of. And every year they have a Women in Aviation conference, which is so awesome. This past year was in March. It was in Orlando at Disney. So that was a really cool experience. And that they have some amazing people come and speak and do kind of education sessions and ideas. And then they have sessions from all types of stuff. So what about financing? What about mental health? All of these really, really cool opportunities, as well as they have like an exhibit hall where all of these, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many companies were there. A lot of companies.
I was definitely there.
Yeah, I was too. We probably ran into each other there as well. And so this organization, their idea, their goal is to allow as many people as they can learn about the aviation industry and all aspects of the aviation industry. When you tell somebody off the street, hey, aviation, tell me one thing that comes to mind when you say aviation, they say pilots, flight attendants. And, it really took a second for me when I was especially going through training, when I was like, yeah, I guess. But then now that I'm at the airlines, I started thinking, what about our dispatchers, air traffic control, maintenance, ramp crew, ground crew? There's so many, and not even that, but like cargo, all of the people behind the scenes, management, aviation management side that we don't even think about. Airport managers. Oh my goodness. How do the airport managers handle all of us? We're all a pain in the butt. And so all of these aspects that we don't even imagine. And so Women in Aviation, as well as our chapter, we really try to emphasize on those, not even smaller jobs, but the lesser known opportunities that everybody has, which is really, really special, I think.
Yeah. Highlight of my Women in Aviation conference experience was meeting Teresa Claiborne. You guys know who that is?
Oh, yeah. United.
Yeah.
Sisters of the Skies.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Definitely, it's fun to go to the conferences. It's first off, it's one of the biggest ones, and it is. We were at a massive hotel. It took forever to get across that hotel. It was so big.
Yeah.
But it was so much community, and it was so much a reunion. And that was fun to watch and to be a part of, even as a guy there. It wasn't all women, that's for sure. It was a huge percentage women, which is awesome to see. But lots of men walking around too, and you see everybody in their suits and their ties and their shined shoes, or all the things they're doing. And you're like, well, good luck. Hope your resume is not sweated through by now. But then also all the extra things, all the luncheons and the celebrations, and it is really a who's who of like celebrity women that are walking down there. It's so cool. I want to know, talk to me. I've got a little, right? I'm a professional pilot. I know all the professional pilots. I do all the things, but I don't know how to get my little girl involved in aviation and how to get her to where she needs to go. And so what would you tell that parent when you're talking to them, Precious, about how to get them where they dream to be?
Well, I think you tapped into it just a second ago. The key word is community, and that's for any profession that you choose, but especially aviation. You need to find your community, and that's what Women in Aviation and Wheels Down South Chapter Atlanta is for me. It's community, because, like I said, this is one of the hardest things, and I would tell the parent this. For some, it may be hard, some may be easy, but for that kid that this seems like a mountain that you'll never get to the top of, Women in Aviation, our chapter is the community that you need. You need mentors. You need someone who's done this before. And I would tell them to get involved with us, because that's who we are. If you're looking to be a aviation or airport manager, we have that. If you're looking to be a pilot, hey, let me hook you up with Isabella. If you're looking for something else, we have possibly that person in our chapter, or can get in contact with them to use as a resource. So that would be my first or biggest piece of advice is come join our community. Let us help you. Let us help you grow. Let us help you get to the next level, teach you how to study, help you understand all of these hard things that just seem impossible. And that's why every month or every so often, we've been really busy the last couple of months with different organizations inviting us out to maybe host a booth and talk to their kids or their organization, because that's what we do on the ground level. We just need to tap into so many different events that are going on to let people know, hey, we're here to help you. And that's when I go to the events, that's my biggest thing is, what do you want to talk about? What are you interested in? I want to help you, because that's what I think keeps people from tapping into things. Nobody can help me. How can I do this? Everybody tells me, get on Google, figure it out yourself. And I'm like, no, ask me. I want to tell you all the things, let me help you. So when I talk to parents of kids that are interested, I'm like, let me hold your hand and we're going to start at step 1 to get you to step 23, basically. So that's where I am.
It's just,
I think one thing I want to add to that too is that women in aviation, just the aviation, stepping into the industry, into the world of aviation, I was really lucky. My mom, I mentioned to you before the podcast started, she's a flight attendant. I've been traveling through the aviation industry my entire life. And so I had kind of a step in. I was very, very lucky and very thankful that I had kind of a foot through the door. But even going into the pilot side, we knew the flight attendant side. We knew that kind of aspect. Walking to the pilot side, we were all sitting at home at dinner one night saying, what do we do? Where do we start? Who do we talk to? And it's funny enough that we mentioned we want to help is there's always somebody that you make a connection with, and they become unofficially or officially your mentor. And our chapters has so many people, like Precious said, that you kind of by accident find your mentor. I found mine. Her name's Casey. She actually flies for Delta. She's on the 737 and her dad flies for American. My mom and him were commuting to work one day while I was in college. And he's like, oh my gosh, your daughter goes to Auburn. My daughter went to Auburn. She was an aerospace engineer, but she's a pilot. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. So my mom's like, oh my gosh, let me get her phone number. Let me give it to my daughter. So she gave me Casey's phone number. Funny enough, we still make fun of the situation. I was terrified to reach out to her. I was like, what do I say? How do I reach out to her? And my parents were like, doesn't matter. Just say hi. And finally I did. And she has become the most influential person as a pilot in my life, where I go to her about everything. We call her my life advisor. She's not even just a mentor anymore. She's a really good friend of mine and we talk about anything. And so she's the person I can go to and say, hey, Casey, this happened at work today. I want your opinion. Hey, Casey, I nailed that landing. That was a gorgeous landing. Or, ooh, my landing was awful. Talk me through it. I'm feeling kind of bad and I feel like a terrible pilot. And so having somebody that will help guide you through any steps of the aviation world is so important. And I think our chapter has such a great opportunity to give those students that chance of who knows who you walk in. And I also think when you said, what do we tell the parents that want to get their children involved, especially at a young age? A young age is such an awkward time because you can't take them flying at 10 years old. You could. And then our chapter, what we do is every month we have different stuff that we do. We have tours, we have guest speakers, we have workshops like scholarship workshops and that kind of stuff. But we also do fun stuff. So maybe for a 10-year-old, you don't want to come to a scholarship workshop. Okay, maybe you want to come to a guest speaker. Yeah, come to bingo. In October, we're actually having a pumpkin carving. We do an annual pumpkin carving. Coming to like the fun activities where everybody is super laid back, super chill, where you can just come up and meet us and get to know us. And then as you grow, as the child gets older and progresses, then you can continue coming back. And eventually you'll match in perfectly with wanting to come to the guest speakers, with volunteering at one of our outreach events. And so there's so many opportunities. I would say throw yourself in because we are so welcoming. We're a huge family. Join us. We love you already.
That's so good. We love you already. Listen, girls are always so positive. Man, that is awesome. Hey, pilot, does your pilot uniform make a short flight feel like a transcon slog? Flight Uniforms have reinvented aviation shirts with 3D stretch, stain repellents, and no wrinkles. These shirts are just plain comfortable and ready for takeoff right out of your rollerboard. Flight Uniform is trusted by more than 25,000 pilots, and their flagship flight shirt has over 1,500 five-star reviews. I've worn every pilot shirt out there, and if you know me, you know I only wear Flight Uniforms. Be the envy of every cockpit at flightuniform.com and get a special podcast exclusive discount with the code SpitfirePod20 to take 20% off your first order at flightuniform.com. Okay, so you mentioned scholarship stuff. I grew up, first off, I've had my mentor for 31 years and I talked to him.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. He's awesome. Michael Phillips. I got a show on him. He's awesome. I grew up in the mountains in North Carolina in a really poor area. And if I didn't even know about aviation, like there was one rich guy in my town who flew for US Air and he was like the rich guy.
He was the man.
He had a Porsche. See, the only Porsche in town. But I say that because you live in a pretty densely populated city that has a lot of the haves and the have-nots, a lot. And the disparity is real. And aviation is very expensive. So how do you cross that bridge for somebody that is just not in a life position to be able to pay a couple $100,000 for some flight training?
I would say, that's a really tough one because, I, like you, I grew up in a very rough neighborhood in Miami. And that's where that initial thought of, I can't do this. When I first met the woman I was speaking of, Michelle, I was like, that didn't even comprehend for me. I'm like, how am I going to pay for that? I have 2 kids, I have a house, mortgage, car note. Like, how am I going to do that? And it's not making sense. And like,
the math doesn't math.
It's not mathing. And like Isabella mentioned about scholarships, the first thing I would tell an aspiring pilot, I like to be real and I like to be honest. I'm like, hey, this is not easy. This is not cheap. This is very expensive. Are you willing to downgrade your life for a couple years for years after that to live much better? It's about personal sacrifice. Either you're going to sacrifice in the pocket, you're going to sacrifice emotionally, or you're going to sacrifice all the way around. And I like to have that honest conversation with someone, like the same conversation I have with myself. I'm like, do you really want this? Can you really put this sacrifice and work in? Because if you don't have a lot of money, the more time it's going to take. If you don't have the time, I just don't know if you're ever going to get there, so that's the first thing you got to do is like have a real and honest conversation. And once you've accepted that, then you can be introduced to, hey, there are scholarships. Are they easy to get? No. Have I ever gotten one?
No.
Have I applied for 1,000?
Yes.
So it's, it is real, and you can work your way through it. And it sucks to hear people say, I have to work for every flight hour, $300 an hour. Well, if you have a full-time job, you got to put that overtime in. You might only get 3 hours a week, but are you willing to put in that work? And for me, the biggest word is sacrifice. It can be done, but it's sacrifice involved.
I think a good part of it too is, these scholarship opportunities, they come up. When I was going through college, and like Precious said, I applied to so freaking many. I had so many professors that I asked, can you write me a letter of recommendation, please, for a scholarship? They're like, of course. I applied to so many, even as, president of Women in Aviation, great GPA, all that good stuff. I didn't get a single one. Mm-hmm. And it was really kind of disheartening to see and to hear, no, you didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. But also, I was very lucky. My parents helped me pay through my training. And when I became an instructor, my students, that was one of the first conversations that we had. And I wanted to make a point of having that conversation because you can tell as an instructor, and Precious, I know you could probably see this with your students when you do your ground school. You can tell the kids that are definitely, I want to do this. I'm ready to go no matter what it takes. but I don't have the money. And they're honest with me. And that's why I wanted to have that conversation with them right at the beginning, because I was like, okay, I get it. I've been there. I got you. Let's do this efficiently, but correctly. So we're not sitting here for 30 extra hours flying just because we need to, or just because we feel like it. Let's do it right. But I need you to come prepared. And all of my students, they were like, I got you. And so that's the thing, is that when I was going through training, my dad always told me, return on investment. We're a math family. We love math. It's a return on investment. Yes, the first part of training, it's expensive. Flying is difficult. And that's what I tell every pilot, every aspiring pilot. It's not easy. And I don't say it to, not make you want to be a pilot. I'm telling you because that's what you're stepping into. And it's a really great opportunity because although it is very difficult, it is also so incredibly rewarding. And the first example is you walk in day one, you barely know what an airplane is. It has 2 wings. That's about it, right? And then not too far later into the future, you're flying that thing by yourself. And it is the most rewarding experience and the most rewarding just ability to be able to do something like that. But it is expensive. And so all of the students, I always told them, it's possible. If you set your mind to it, it's possible. Try it. If that just means flying once a week, if that means even flying once a month, will it take a little bit longer? Yeah, probably. It might. But does that mean it's not possible? No, not at all. Not at all. Mm-hmm. You work with your instructors, you work with your friends, you work with if you have a mentor, because there's stuff you could do at home that's free or practically free to get yourself prepared, to keep you in the loop. And then as soon as you have the money, you start flying, you start rocking it up. And so but it's not easy because it's expensive.
Yeah, for sure. And that I love, Precious, I love what you talked about. Like it might require a lifestyle change, and it really does. And it really comes down to a family decision, whether you're an adult or a younger person trying to get into aviation, and you're having that conversation with your family and where those sacrifices are going to be made, and what are the other things that you can do to take the burden and yoke on yourself to get there, and the tenacity and the continuing of just putting yourself in the position where you can discover opportunities. And that's the theme I hear over and over and over, because when you are being intrusive with your persistence, like that is where the wins start to happen. So I want to encourage people to just be there and make it happen.
Yeah. Keep going. Don't stop.
Just keep swimming. I heard somebody.
Yep. Just keep swimming. You cannot stop. And it's like Isabella touched on, in the periods where I couldn't fly or I couldn't, I wasn't making any movement, I got involved with something else. I started volunteering at the ACE Academy. They didn't take any money from me, just 2.5 hours of my time once a week, using that knowledge I received from private pilot and giving it to kids. That didn't take anything from me. I asked around, hey, anybody have a sim they want to give me or for little or no money? And a guy reached out. He was like, yeah, you can have it for $50. A whole sim setup cost me $50. And so the times I couldn't fly, I just simmed around, did approaches, worked on stuff. That didn't cost me anything. I studied for some of my knowledge exams. I went ahead and knocked most of them out. That cost me some money, but not as much as a flight hour, So there are so many things you can do in the interim while you're trying to get to where you want to be. Go join a Women in Aviation meeting. Doesn't cost you anything, but you're around it, because the things that you surround yourself with, the things you listen to, the things you read, that's what's going to sit with you the most. So pull out an aviation book, go to a meeting, talk to people that are in aviation, volunteer with aviation, you want to lose weight, you go watch videos, you work out, you hang around a workout enthusiasts, do the same thing with aviation. If it's something you're interested in, make your life about that. Not that it's the only thing you do, but surround yourself with it. Read it, see it, write it, touch it, feel it, and you'll become that thing. Whatever you surround yourself with, that's who you'll become. That's what you'll believe. That's what you'll believe you can do. So
I think it's also a cool opportunity that I didn't do it just because I went straight into college for aviation, but a flight school is near you. When you're a high schooler, upper high school, probably junior, senior year, that kind of stuff, check out a flight school near you and be like, hey, do you guys need schedulers? Do you guys need front desk kind of stuff? Because not only does that help kind of get you into the world of aviation. Oh, this is what scheduling looks like. Oh, this is what maintenance of the airplanes look like. This is why we don't have the planes available. So that if you do want to take that next step, you start to see and make connections with people and with just how the operation works, because it's a very complicated operation. And so then you kind of have the ability to see, oh, okay, this is how it works. And then once you are ready to take that leap, you have a connection right there. Who knows? Maybe they'll give you a discount too if you work for them.
Yes, 1,000%. Go to that flight school, be there, and talk to them, and get even if you work for free, go do that, and be that. That hunger, I think, is the thing that is rewarded, and people see it. And you roll into a small Part 61 flight school, and all of a sudden, you've been writing the schedule for 18 months, and turn around hey, we got some extra flying. You want to go with us? Let's go. And all of a sudden you find yourself getting opportunities that would not be presented to you otherwise. And so that's so true. Is fire right there. Let's go. Man. I love the organization. I love what you guys do. And so how do pilots find out about the Wheels Down South chapter?
Like I said earlier, I Googled it.
Instagram, we're on Facebook. You can visit our website, waiatlanta.com. I think that's our name on everything. Instagram, Facebook, that's our website. That's the main way to find out about us, social media.
That's right.
And we have a meeting once a month, every single month.
That's right. Or if you're going to a convention and you're going to go to the Endeavor booth, maybe you're going to meet a young lady who runs it and is there as well.
I'll be there.
Yep.
I'll be there. I'll be in full uniform. So very hard to tell apart.
She's so cute in her uniform. I hate to say the word cute, but she is, oh my God.
The hat is bigger than my whole body. It's really the tip top, cherry on top.
It's the whole thing. I mean, it's awesome. I love her in that uniform.
I will say, Nick, we didn't really touch about it, which I really want to see if we can touch it real quick. It's, like we mentioned before, we have 2 events going on this year.
That's right.
One right after the other. So we have Girls in Aviation Day, which is September 21st on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Peachtree DeKalb Airport here in Atlanta and Chamblee. And that one is very flight-based, flight ops based, that kind of stuff. Then, because we're wild, we decided to also have a Girls in Aviation Technology Day. This one is, this is the first time ever doing an event like this. And the entire planning committee is so, so excited about it. This is going to be technology-based, engineering, let's see, maintenance, drones, all of that kind of stuff. And that is the focus. And the reason we wanted to do this, first of all, we had some space constraints at PDK. So we had to kind of break our event kind of in 2 in the first place. But then we said a technology specific one, this is going to be such a great experience and such a great opportunity for everybody to see specifically technology specific opportunities out there. So this technology day is going to be October 26th at the Aviation Institute of Maintenance up in Duluth. Same time frame, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's going to be and we have different companies coming to both events too, which is really cool. That one is more tech-based companies, and we're going to have some really, really, really exciting activities and some really cool surprises for the kids there too. So that's another one. You register the same way that you would for Girls in Aviation Day on our website, waiatlanta.com. They can go in the little 3 bars. They can get the information for Girls in Aviation Technology Day. Sign up. It's free. Both events are free. We want as many girls and as many kids as we can get. I'm hyped about both of them, to be completely honest with you. But Tech Day is going to be so, so awesome. We're so excited in my household that last year I actually voluntold my mom she was coming to Girls in Aviation Day. I signed her up and I was like, Mom, you're coming. And she's like, okay. And she really didn't understand what the event was. And so she's like, all right, whatever, I'll go. she showed up and she was so excited. Precious, do you remember my mom last year?
Yes, I do.
She was doing face painting and she got so excited about it. And so I found face paint airplanes on the side of my car that were like peeled off her skin. So that's how hyped we were all about it. But so she asked me this year, she's like, when is it? And I said, actually, there's 2 of them. She's like, I'm bidding it off. And I said, great. So she's coming to Tech Day or going to try to come to Tech Day, and she's coming to Girls in Aviation Day. So my mom, who, she's a mom, she is so excited for the event. So I cannot imagine the girls, they're going to have a blast. I'm so excited.
Shout out to Mrs. Velarde that maybe she's going to go get her private pilot's license too.
I don't know about that. I tried to get her to land an airplane with me and my dad when I was flying with them one day. My dad goes, no, I'm good. You got it. No, it's okay. But
well, you'll have to introduce me to your mom when we show up. That'll be
yes. Please do. We're so excited for this event.
So the only thing I'll say about Technology Day is everybody you talk to, you got to talk about 2 pilots in the airplane. We need 2 pilots.
Yes.
We need 1 pilot. We need 2 pilots in the airplane.
2 pilots in the airplane. Gotcha.
So we can keep having more podcasts about what it's good to be a pilot.
Got it. Check.
Ladies, thank you for spending your day with me. Thank you for spending the time and talking to the pilot about how important outreach is and how important just telling more and more girls about how awesome being a pilot is. So you guys are awesome. You're doing awesome work, and our family at Spitfire really appreciates everything you do. So don't quit.
I'm not gonna
keep going, girl. I want to fly with you.
I'm looking forward to it, baby.
We gotta go somewhere fun.
Let's go.
Come on, be my FO. Be my FO. Where do you want to go?
I got you. Amp me up. Pump me up.
Come on.
This is important. Before you go, you need to know that 2024 is going to be unbelievably competitive in the world of pilot hiring, and you need to make sure that you separate yourself from the herd. The only way that you can guarantee that you'll land your dream job is by partnering with Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting. We are the only choice for application review and interview prep. We are the partners that you've been looking for from start to finish, and it's never too early to be part of our community. Just go over to my website, spitfireelite.com, and use the coupon code R4P to save yourself 10% on all of our services. Again, that's the letter R, the number 4, and the letter P to save 10%. So go out there and slay your interviews.